This week, what I really want to focus on is our volunteers, because it's National Volunteer Week, and I don't know how many people know, but Praxis all those years ago actually started as an organisation providing volunteers for people who were increasingly coming out of long-stay psychiatric institutions and living in the community, and quite typically and probably quite predictably became quite isolated. So Nevin Ringland started the organisation recruiting volunteers. It was in Newtownards in County Down here in Northern Ireland, and that was a really important service. So, and it remains a very important service, and we have a very vibrant volunteer service across the organisation. So I just want to say a very big thank you to them. There are over 100 volunteers in the organisation, and they contribute in different ways, from being actually members of our board to volunteer befrienders, and most of our volunteers actually take on that befriending role, which is of enormous value to the service users. But all the volunteers give freely of their time, and either directly or indirectly, it really benefits our service users. I suppose over this time of COVID, I've really been acutely aware that volunteers could feel quite isolated. I think uniquely they not necessarily are part of teams, and without the support of the staff who take a particular responsibility for supporting them out in their services. And most recently, Ian Cardwell, our volunteer coordinator, just very aware that volunteers could feel a bit forgotten about and a bit left out. So, part of this is really just to say to them directly, that we haven't forgotten about you. We really value what you do. And I really hope, and I fully expect, that next year we'll be able to resurrect our annual volunteer dinner, which is, I think, one of the annual events in the organisation I really look forward to. Once a year, volunteers get together and quite often accompanied by the person they befriend, and they show their appreciation, and the organisation shows their appreciation for what they do. And there's always a bit of entertainment attached to it, and the people who organise it, which isn't me, it's our APOs out in the services, think of different ways and novel ways each year for entertainment. One year it really stands out is where we're being taught to jive, and I can tell you, given my performance, I'm glad that wasn't live streamed. But apart from that, I really enjoyed the evening, and I look forward to seeing them all again. One of the things I actually wanted to do today, because at that dinner, we obviously say thank you to all the volunteers, but we mark the milestones that particular individuals have reached in their volunteer service. And I just really wanted to give individuals who have reached those milestones a bit of a shout out this morning. So if I start with a few volunteers who've reached the milestone of 5 years, Suzanne and Rebecca Robinson, who are volunteers in our Young People Leaving Care scheme in Antrim, and indeed Ozzy Pullen, who is the chair of our governance committee. He's also a board member, so he's also been serving for 5 years, so well done to all of them. Reaching the 10-year mark, Emma Miller and Karen Best, both again from the Young People Leaving Care scheme in Antrim, and Richard Edgar, who's a befriender in our Foyle mental health service. Also, and I better not forget this one, Ken Brundle, who is chair of Praxis. He's been with us for 10 years, steering the ship, and it's been a really successful 10 years. So thanks very much to Ken for all his contribution and support. Moving even further up the scale, 15 years, Mary McEnany has been volunteering in our Macrofelt mental health scheme for 15 years. And finally, Frances Ray, who's a befriender also in our Macrofelt mental health service and has been befriending for 25 years. That's incredible. You know, a quarter of a century of service and just a fantastic achievement. And thanks so much, Frances. I'm so full of admiration for what you have done, and I have no doubt that the people that you've helped really appreciate that. So thanks very much to Frances and to everybody. So yeah, so Volunteer Week, it's recognition to the people who, as I say, give their time freely, day in, day out, year in, year out. So a very big thank you to you.